Welcome back everyone to Let's Play World Waves 3 as Germany, episode number 41. It's been almost a full week since the last video. Apologize about that, but last week was a work week. I was out late pretty much every night. Anyway, let's, where were we? Actually, I received a lot of good comments from the last video. That's par for the course, obviously. I want to say this really, I sincerely appreciate the comments people leave, even if I don't respond to all of them. I try to, when I get some time. It's easier to respond to comments than to produce a whole new video. But there was good comments about replacing the machinery. I think we talked about that. I hope this wasn't from 2 videos ago and I didn't cover it. Maybe I already covered this last video. But basically the replacing of machinery, God, I feel like I talked about this already, but we didn't look at it correctly. I didn't look at it correctly. Let's go to the Bodevigs. This is a good representative example. So although this is now the Bodevigs from 1915, which is where we are, we can go back and design this again from scratch, replace the machinery, which we didn't do last time anyway. And then we could do something, you know, like not stupid, like replace this with oil. That's right. And now we can see that, okay, that actually didn't make as much of a difference as I thought it might. I mean, it's still like 100 extra tons. You wouldn't not want to do this. I mean, at least do this, right? But we could go for oil now that we have oil. There's, I mean, just expense, right? 2377, 21. For the extra 200, I feel like you just probably better served to go with the full thing. Let's see, 10 months for this versus, yep, 10 months either way. So if we were to say that we would switch over to oil and turbine, that would give us 200 weight remaining. What would we do with that? I mean, I don't think we'd want to do it on the Bodevigs. It's still only going to get us 2 knots. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's the difference. Instead of 1 knot, it'll get you 2 knots, and I guess that's 100% increase in the amount of increase, but still relative to the initial speed, we didn't really change much. 20 to 22. It's not really a game changer when you're talking about ships that are going to be going 27, 28 or more. You know, the other contemporary ships. So I guess it, like, I want to make sure that we're trying to be as accurate as possible. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes here and there, but thank you for the, you know, correct me in the comments, and I'll try to remember to come back and fix all the things, or mention all the things I said incorrectly. So that was one of them, just that it was obviously an oversight not to attempt to replace the machinery and then change the engine to something more modern. Take-home point was actually surprisingly less impactful doing that than I thought. So I guess the message, the underlying message from last time was probably still correct, that at least my opinion hasn't been swayed by the additional tonnage going from 21 to 22 when you're starting at 20. It's just not going to make much of a difference. Maybe the Bodensees, weren't these guys at 23? No, they're also at 20. Somebody was at 23. Oh, the Gregor Muckenbergers. Maybe these are a better example for like actually trying to do it. And these were already coal plus turbines. We won't get as much out of these. So 77, this would not have been enough to do the change to begin with. Going to oil, yeah, we can definitely get 1 more knot out of it, but nothing more. I gotta say, I've never been a big fan of the replaced machinery. This is a discussion we have, you know, every series, but even multiple times in a series, as we see. I just can't be convinced. Now, one thing I'm not sure about, I'm pretty sure that replacing the machinery does reset them back to the original amount, like this parentheses amount. So we have the Falca here that's down to 19, but I'm pretty sure that she would go back up to 20 if we were to replace machinery. I mean, I hope to God that that'd be the case. Unless the abstraction here is that the seaworthiness of the vessel is just slowly deteriorating, which also kind of makes sense, but I think that's a lot easier to actually the ship shape matter. I think that's a lot easier to overcome. I mean, basically, it's got to be mostly the engines and the hull form, right? Well, I guess there could be little inefficiencies all over the place. Okay, but anyways, we're not moving on. We're not going fast enough. People also mentioned about the new design. It's, you know, here we go, Oktoberfest. It's 4 months out before we can change it, but can I just open it, please? I can't, you say? But maybe, in fact, I can if I do it this way. Okay, so another person commented about the torpedoes. Now, we did remove those. Okay, so those are gone. There were several comments about maybe not doing this form, but actually doing 3 triples instead. The thing is, and I'm not sure, so let's go ahead and find out. I believe that we can't use an A triple without, with the B superimposed, maybe even without. Let's just try it this way. What if I got rid of you? Yeah. So if A or Y is triple, then we just can't, we can't do this. So even if I put the super firing in the rear. Okay, so it just doesn't work. We'd have to do the 2-3. We have to do, basically the forward gun has to be a 2. Now, as people have mentioned, we were probably close to the new technology. There was also a lot of disparaging comments, basically echoing my comments about how the technology, my technology has... I typically have pretty bad luck. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That's like a completely illogical thing to say. I mean, not entirely, but it's just very hard to... It's very hard for one person to really be so far out of the norm, but I might just be getting unlucky in this one, and I've probably been lucky in other ways that are less measurable, and who knows? I mean, the law of large numbers, right? Eventually everything should converge to some kind of mean. Well, that's not exactly true. Actually, when you have real life examples, a lot of them do sway out of the expected value. I mean, okay, so I think we'll just push on because that was quite a lot of rambling. And you know what? Hey, look, we're making pyramids of men. Focus on physical fitness on Wiesbaden has led to combat training being neglected. Great. Glad that their pyramids... I don't know. I mean, that team building exercise, sometimes you need those. But in any case, doesn't really matter that the crew quality is suffering because we're not at war, and I hope to God we don't go to war for a little bit of time. I'd like to get some new ships out. We got this Oktoberfest. I'd like to build them. So basically, based on the feedback, I think that we're going to end up building the Oktoberfest as she is. Because we just haven't gotten better guns. Alright, Angola's base expansion has been completed. Let me check, 400,000, okay good, we're not... I thought this was at some point up to 600,000, that was probably at war. That's insane, that's very high. Although we are using a very high fleet size, so that also explains it. Anyways, Angola's completed. West African capacity has gone up. Indian Ocean capacity has gone up. Caribbean capacity has gone up. We could, continue that, do another sequential run of them. I don't know that we need to. Let's see, we have... Ooh. We probably will do a sequential run in the Caribbean. That's not a whole lot we have there. At least we do have the 2 6-inch coastal batteries now. That's good to see, but base capacity of 20, I kind of think we want a little bit bigger than that. Now, I hate to do it in the Caribbean because the Caribbean's the one place that we could potentially lose. If we do end up going to war with the U.S., it'll be very hard to contest the Caribbean. Might end up losing it. West Africa, it looks like the only people that can contest us there are the British. It's basically true in South Africa as well. And it's basically true in Indian Ocean as well because I think Madagascar is pretty far away. Where are the ports? Is this considered a port for Madagascar? Or is this considered a port for these guys? Like, where's my port? Which one's the ones for... Do we have a port? We should. Guess it doesn't make sense if we don't. This is a naval game. Mozambique. Maybe that's part of Madagascar. Madagascar definitely has these other two, though. That one might belong to this. I don't know, basically. I guess it actually does say. Dar es Salaam and Tanga are ours. These guys have... Nope, that's not what I wanted. Zanzibar. So, yeah, I guess this one... Oh, there it is. It's Mozambique. Okay, great. It's a neutral. So, yeah, we're way too far away then. Well, Diego Suarez. I think that's too far away. I mean, well, yeah. For now, at least, with my technology, which is probably behind the British. But maybe not behind the French. That's right, that is the French. So let's leave that invasion area up. So we can kind of get an idea of where... Basically, it's only the British who threaten us. Now, not so in the Caribbean, right? The Caribbean, just everybody. Spanish, American, British, nearly the French. That's pretty close. So a lot more parties involved, a lot more things to worry about. In Northeast Asia, we have Japan, we have France, and then we have the United States. Okay. I guess we, oh my gosh, we have Russia. I forgot about, when did they take, I think that was an event. At some point they took Shanghai. That's crazy. Spain and Britain, mainly in the middle of the Pacific over here. Yeah. That's pretty good. Basically, we don't want to go to war with Britain, which is what we've been trying to avoid from the very get-go. That'd be a tough one for us. Okay, so going back to ships. I mean, no, what I was talking about there was actually the base capacity. 102 in West Africa seems okay. I think we will try to spice up the South African one. Oh, we are building it. 4 months left. Okay, we'll probably repeat build that. That's pretty darn low. 40 in Tanganyika. If we wanted to become something in the Indian Ocean, we should build this up. Maybe one more. I think we will. We have the money for it right now. Just right before we start building all these battleships. And best not to be doing this much of it, because we're gonna want the funding for the battleship projects pretty quickly here. And that might actually be the answer then for whether or not I'm gonna upgrade the Caribbean one. Base capacity is pretty low though. Okay, I'm just gonna let it go. Let's also increase our dock size. So I've just talked about, not spending all our money, but I think this is worth doing. Staying ahead of the game. And now we can move forward. Improve shell quality. Oh, the other thing, right? Aircraft carriers. Several people have mentioned aircraft carriers. Funny thing about aircraft carriers is the Germans don't understand what aircraft carriers are. Now, I guess we can try to retrofit something. I don't even know what our technology is. No, we have no naval aviation for heavier than air, or whatever it's called, the airplane one. Despite the fact that it is 1915, we're deep into World War I time frame here. Mind you that there is this small amount of lag because we're at only 80 or 90% research rate. But the Germans still don't know what an airplane is. Just couldn't be bothered to figure it out. In fact, in this world, it's like, well, that old... What was that old game called? Gunship or something? No, it wasn't called Gunship, but Airship. There's that old game where you... no, even that one had airplanes, where you were actually... It was a bunch of hot air balloons attacking each other, and you flew in these little... I mean, basically, they were attached to the balloons. Wow, people don't care about that. Tortuga, let's just move on. I can't remember the darn name of the game, but it was basically a flight sim, but based on this fictional world where what's the word I'm looking for? Zeppelins, like armored Zeppelins, was the way of the future instead of just air bases. Oh god, I can't remember the name though. I'll go look it up after this and then get very... I don't know, I have a hard time remembering names. As if you guys needed to know that. It's pretty apparent. Okay, superimposed X-mounts on CLs. That could be interesting. We don't really have a good one. Okay, Oktoberfest is ready. We're going to go rework the design. And we have 51 tons remaining, which basically tells me that nothing has changed. But it says 10% change. So maybe something did? I don't know. It's news to me. We still have this kind of funky 9-gun. And, it's possible for us to build this one as the medium-ranged solution. Maybe just build a couple of them. Just 2. And then afterwards, we can build like a different Oktoberfest version with the 3 triple guns for another 9-inch guns. I mean, for another set of 9 guns over 3 turrets instead of 4. Because one day, maybe, God willing, somebody in the German... Wait, do we have quality 0 16-inch guns? That's actually not that bad. I thought we were at quality -1. That's okay. That's okay by me. That'll do. But yeah, we might want to build a lighter version of this, basically a cheaper version. As soon as the technology comes out, it allows us to do 3 triples. I almost never am firing from the rear anyway. I'm very, very rarely retreating. And even when I do, I try to angle. Well, okay, there are times when I'm just going to full on retreat. And in those situations, I don't really even care about firing both broadsides. In fact, I kind of think having super firing aft is only important for battle cruisers where you may actually need to retreat. But no Tortuga battleship is going to leave the battle. So yeah, this is going to be it. I'm just going to leave it right where she is. I think she's sufficient. Didn't see any reason why she shouldn't be just built as is. So we'll just wait another month. I don't know why I just waited another month on that, but hey, maybe there'll be some big breakthrough, and yeah, we'll see. We will be very happy we didn't lay him down. Lots of people focusing on physical fitness instead of ship duties. Another 5% increase for submarine reliability. Okay, let's go to rework the design, but we're actually going to cancel this one. We're at 51. Just close this just to make sure. Go to build, and there it is. It'll be expensive. We can build exactly one of them with the current balance, but we're going to go ahead and make it 2 anyway. And that is definitely going to get its own special name. Give me a sec. Cool, we got a Saxony statesman. Vater August. It's a nice little name. It could have even made its own class, potentially. But there we go. 2 ships laid down. I like 2 ships too, because then you get the main ship and the sister ship. You got the whole sister ship terminology, which is fun to use. Okay, obviously this is not bridging the gap of our, as the almanac will probably show, our technological disadvantage compared to, well, really, where are we? The French are at 7 and we're at 9, so we are, oh, but that includes something which must be low tonnage. Yeah, the Blitzdrakas. They have, France has, and this is the problem with when you end up sinking a fleet, it's a little bit counterintuitive. Maybe it's counter-realistic, maybe it's a little bit unrealistic, but I'm not sure. Maybe it is realistic. Is there an example of a whole fleet being sunk? I mean, I guess kind of like the Germans from World War II to World War I to World War II. They had to rebuild. So they had mostly... No, and they did have some old World War I ships. I don't know. I don't know if there's actually an appropriate analogy here where somebody loses like all their ships in a war for whatever reason, and then they, in the next one they have like brand spanking amazing new ships. But that's the situation we're facing against France. They're going to have some darn good ships. We know that just purely by the total tonnage being basically equal to mine, even though we have 2 extra ships. I typically have much heavier ships than the other ones, than the AI nations, but not so here. So yeah, they're at, well, they do have one at 19,500 tons. In fact, it's a little bit strange to me. How is this math being done? Oh, it's mostly because even our Vorpommerns are only 25,000, and their ships are now almost all over 26,000. So that explains it. But yeah, the French ships would be a tough match for us at this point. We'd be facing things like this. 10, 14-inch guns. In fact, that looks very, very similar. Can I put this over here for a second? Yeah, it won't let me put it away. Well, just take a mental snapshot of this. 20 knots, 26,000, 10 14-inch guns, 10-inch belt. And then we'll go over to my Vorpommerns. These guys are 10 13-inch guns instead of 10 14-inch guns. Now, our configuration is a little bit wild. We have a 2, 3, 1, 3-2, right? 2-3. No, that's just 2-3-3-2. So this is already a 2-3-3-2. Gosh, the 2-3-2-2 is just so bizarre. But you know what? That's what's gonna make these Oktoberfests the drunken realization of from some architect that they are. Very appropriate, obviously, that it's the Oktoberfest that has such a weird design. We're being criticized for our armored cruisers. Don't they know battle cruisers are the way of the future? I guess that's what they're saying, is we don't have battle cruisers. Okay, we did get the superimposed X mounts for light cruisers. South Africa base expansion is complete. Yeah, I think we'll go back, and unfortunately, it's like not that we have a ton of money to do it, but I think we will go ahead and double up on that, just so that ships can pass through there without losing quite so much readiness or whatever. And we know at least that when they move into West Africa, they'll be okay. 102 there, that's great. And the Indian Ocean, we're currently expanding, so actually I say that, but yeah, we are. So both of those will be okay. So if you're just moving from, you know, I mean, you have to move to the Indian Ocean and then back to West Africa. So in both of those areas, you'd be getting resupplied. Just can't hang out in South Africa by ourselves if we're a huge task force. Not that we'd expect to. Okay, and we got to make sure that all people are on reserve. That obviously helped a little bit. We definitely have some people who are not can't be on reserve because they're an active fleet. They're on foreign tonnage, foreign stations, I should say. If I was not so pushed for trying to actually make progress in this video, which I've been done a terrible job at so far, I'd actually go ahead and look at all the different places where we have foreign stations and try to map out the appropriate distribution, I guess, of different ships. Japan has proposed a 5-year security arrangement right after our arrangement with Austria-Hungary expired. I don't know about that. Now, on the one hand, it would be interesting, it would be helpful even, if we did get into some kind of conflict with the United States. I'll go look at all relations in a second, but let me just take a look. Oh, wow, these guys are very advanced. We're advanced, France is advanced. So, not too surprising though. The US and Great Britain are the technological leaders. France and I are the second tier, and then everyone else is below us. So, the United States is gonna, wow, they got some tonnage. But look at this difference between Great Britain and the United States. What I would like to do, I mean, I don't know if it's coded to be not possible, which, whatever. I kind of would like to be allied with Great Britain. And then we can go mess around with the United States. Anyway, they are 9 battle cruisers. We should probably think about some battle cruisers. I agree. I see it, press. I see what you're talking about. Although, holy hell, where are we going to get the money for it? I mean, we barely put 2 dreadnoughts down. I guess it just goes to show you that I'm not a huge fan of battle cruisers. I think that money is better spent on dreadnoughts, especially in this game. Alright, let's take a look at the relations. We have Japan with rising tensions with France. That's okay with me. Allied with Italy. Oh my god, the British and the Americans are allied. Well, that's unfortunately not... I mean, well, let's just stay away from any conflict with those two. I just don't think that Japan's going to offer the value I'm looking for. I guess I could even afford to go to war with them. They are at... they're allied with Italy. I don't think much of Italy. Yeah, they're behind. They have low budget. Well, I say that. They definitely have more dreadnoughts than I do. Oh well, we'll still push it. Improved homogeneous armor. It's good. Concentration firing. Good. So now we can actually target more than one ship can target the same target, and take less of a penalty for that. Okay. Yeah, I think next up for us is a battlecruiser, and you know what? It should be. If you think about it, the battlecruiser is much better in the kind of configuration we'd be limited to, like a 232 or a 23. It would have to be a 232. Damn. France wants to buy something from me? Well, you know, this funny thing about this game is I'm going to say go ahead and sell it. Even though they're pretty much our sworn enemy. Wow. Capacity of 80 in the South Pacific is sufficient. We're not going to build up any more there. More industrial improvements, which is good. About to have another 1,000 slapped onto our dock, which is also good. I'm still debating about the Caribbean coming back over. We do have a positive monthly balance now. I think I ought to build a third Oktoberfest. They're still a pretty they're still a pretty darn good ship. They are so darn expensive though. But as these other ships are going to finish, like these destroyers, well, okay, let's go back to the almanac yet again, and let's take a look at other categories. In particular, the light cruisers. Yeah, we're okay there. I mean, this is because we're pursuing the blockade point light cruiser strategy. So we're definitely heavy on light cruisers compared to other people. But that's just the blockade point pool that we're targeting there. We are extremely light on destroyers. Probably by another 10 we'll need to catch up to France. And France is really the second lightest besides Spain and us. I mean, besides Spain other than us. And we're actually the lowest right now, but we have 10 more building. That'll put us above Spain. But just being above Spain is pretty much an insult. So that's alright. Destroyers build pretty quickly, so if you are getting close to conflict, that's the best thing to be deferring. Especially because I should probably be building destroyers all the time since I lose them all the time. I don't know how, man. Things just fall apart. Okay. Good thing I didn't build it. They're asking me to do it, and I'm going to accept. 10% discount on another Oktoberfest. I will definitely take it. And a name. I suspect that this is another name that we probably wouldn't really see in... But anyway, the Funken Scheisse. There she is. If that's even spelled correct. We'll look at it. I don't know German. A new cruiser from Russia has just arrived on a goodwill visit. Wow, interesting. I would love to go to war with Russia, by the way. We have that one holding in the Northeast Asia, and we would probably dominate them. So, prestige and tension. We can get budget out of one of these. Yeah, there's the top one. Otherwise, we can get prestige. Yeah, prestige and tension versus prestige down and budget. Now, tension does mean budget. Huh. I feel like it would just be so obviously not true if I was to say that the Russians have a ship more advanced than us. Although I say that, we might as well look at what the Russians might have as far as light cruisers go. Yeah, the latest they have is this one. 6-inch guns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see 3 here, 3 there. So this is only a 6-inch gun broadside. 29 knots that's quick. 7,000 tons, 100. Yeah, I don't think. Wow, 60 mines. Wow, they really went crazy with those. I don't really think it's all that great, but I think I'm just going to go with the tensions here. It's a strange thing. Okay, reduces engine HP requirements. This is great for faster ships. We're still looking for the improvement that allows our triple turrets everywhere. And look at that, even with the third one laid out, 3 Oktoberfests currently being built, we're almost neutral on budget, which means yes, it is time. We have the time. we have the money, start considering what our next ship is going to be. And I am going to go to the Caribbean and build that up. Did I already start it? Probably not. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Because by the time I get this next thing designed, some of the other bases are going to be finished. Okay, so what do we think about doing for battlecruiser? I'd like to just see what they're going to give me as a template. 222. So 4, I mean, this is kind of cool. This is the 4 dual turrets, dual gun turrets. We could go silly with it and make it also the 2-3-2-2. Make that like the hallmark of the German ships. This is only down at 36,000 too, which is a little bit unusual. I don't know why they would want that. Anyway, let's go with all or nothing. See how is it possible that all or nothing has belt extended? Isn't that... Isn't that like count not what all or nothing armor is? So we can just have crazy... What do they complain about? The upper belt? Is it upper belt they don't want? Yeah, so you can have belt extended, but you can't have upper belt. Okay, but that's probably just like, you know, that's not armor scheme related. That's like probably a physical issue. It's not that we, you know, it doesn't match the scheme, but it's just physically impossible to do. But the belt extended is interesting. Maybe I would go with 2.5 there then. Deck 3, deck extended 2. This is crazy. I can't believe you can have deck extended with all or nothing. It's not really all or nothing if it's, you know, everywhere. It's kind of, isn't that the whole point? I must be missing something here. But I'm not like super navally, you know, aware and all that. 13.5. We'll go down to 13. This is a battlecruiser after all. I think I'll make the belt extended just 2. Okay, how are we doing here? For a battle cruiser, I think I'll take this down to 10 even. Do you like my torpedo defense? These are 16-inch guns. I mean, this is so funny. If you were to design this, this would basically be the exact same ship as the Oktoberfest, except for faster. And therefore probably a slightly different hull form, longer, narrower, who knows. But funny. I mean, this is only at 36,000 though. What the heck am I must be giving up something. How am I getting away with this? And we can clear the torpedoes. I think it's another thing we won't need. And this is medium range too, which makes a lot of sense for battlecruisers. We're at the point in the game, by the way, that I think that we'll probably be keeping these ships for a long time to come. Even if they start slowing down. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me how this thing is... Okay, wait, we're going to need more ammunition. I'll just bump it up. Okay, there's the some kind of crossover point between 36.2 and 36.3. Do we want to get more? I think 100 is at least a good starting point. It's something to work with. Make this 170 to save a little bit more weight. Blast effects for main. RWV will affect rate of fire for non-case main secondaries by 20%. RWV. Do I have an RW or... Oh, okay. Well, they made this look really nice, and I think it'll be a little bit more expensive, but we can just do X instead of V. So that didn't really cost much more weight. Maybe 40 tons? I don't remember exactly what we were at. Maybe it didn't take any different amount of tons. But we're left with 60 left over. I mean, this is, this is what happens when you start designing these ships and then you iterate and you start to get down to something that looks, seems workable. You're kind of at Stockholm syndrome at that point. Whether or not you wanted to build it or not, you feel like you have to. They got me. I'm hostage. Okay. Well, it looks pretty good. Got rid of the other warning. Oil, medium range, 27 knots, which I think, funny enough, is the speed on my... Yeah, the von Merkatzes also have speed of 27. That's cool that we'd be setting the uniform speed. I don't think that these kind of ships, I could save this. BC, no, what the, it's the wrong date. That's this year. Let's put it in terms of game years, 1916. All right, I'm gonna save it. BC, 1916. Do not do that. Let's just leave it there for a moment. So I might need to get some light cruisers instead. I mean, I know that we already have a bunch because of blockade point reasons, but even destroyers, we probably need more destroyers. That's another thing. We can take a look at our current destroyers which we're building. 20 knots. I mean, I know that the designs have become more efficient since this one was laid out. This was only 1,100 tons too, which is good. That's promising. Good job, Tortuga. Pass, Tortuga. I like to see that we're getting a little bit cheaper. Yeah, 1,300. Don't think it's necessary though. Those are short range with mines. Wow, 6-inch guns. That's something. 5-inch guns I feel a little more comfortable with. They think 2 double torpedo mounts is enough. Not a chance. How about that? All right, torpedo tubes. Right there, right there. Kind of hidden, but we'd have an 8 torpedo broadside with this, which is pretty potent. Starting to get to end game numbers. Well, at least mid game numbers. I guess around 8 to 10 is mid game. End game you got like 16 or so. Overweight, which probably we can get away with if we go short range. I'll take the 12 mines. Okay, that has to be down to 140. That's pretty low. Huh. It's another, I think, ready to print type design. But I'm just going to close it. Not even going to save that one. Triple bottom. Okay, good. Better damage control. Oh my gosh. Oh, finally. Okay, carriers are a thing. Almost. Almost. But we'll get there. We'll put that up to high. I don't know. Well, not sure how quickly all that it will develop, but we'll be pushing for it. Yeah, look at it. I mean, these people, we don't even know what an airplane is yet, and they're already, yet we know, quote unquote, know, air quotes here, we know that other people are using airplanes as scouts. Oh, okay, now, oh, hooray, yeah, wait a second, oh, yeah, those things that are flying around, we should also maybe think about that. Swear, man, I don't understand how this research game works, because I don't know if what the AI puts its budget at. Maybe it gets some bonus. Yeah, lighter than air, we don't care about that one. Heavier than air, that's the one. Okay, the Italians. Yeah, that's... Well, 15-inch guns is still deadly. But I think we could take this one out. Good armor. Well, not deck. And actually, turret? Huh, it's a little bit weird. Oh, good. It's nice to be able to push a few turns, though, without being at war. Austria-Hungary. Huh. Don't really think we have anything to gain by going to war with Austria-Hungary. This might be the rare moment where I just say nothing. Nothing of interest. Wow, we have secondary director? Wow, that just seems so out of place. That seems like something that should happen a decade from now, especially with our slower rate. Who knows? Alright, well, we got quality 0 12-inch guns. Seaplane carrier! Alright, we're almost there. Should I even design it? I mean, it's... I don't know. Wow, 1800. Ah, they're pretty light. How many can these fit? 5? Oh, not very good. But, I mean, actually, that's not bad for an aircraft, a ship which is only weighs 1,800 tons. It's basically a big destroyer. I don't know. I might be okay with this. I might. Oh, I love the art has improved nicely. That looks good. How in the heck are they fitting 5 of these on here? I don't know. I'm not really sure if we would need these, and oh my gosh, I mean, this thing might as well be not armed. But we might end up picking a few of these up. Just so that they seem pretty cheap. Like, total cost is only 5,000, and that's over 14 months. The monthly must be very, very small on this. We could get a few, maybe send some over to Northeast Asia, have like a fake, like air fleet over there. Oh, you know, air support, naval air support. And then the aircraft carriers will probably end up staying in North Europe. Anyway, I see that we're at 43 minutes of time. I'll probably wrap it up here. Pretty tired. Hopefully that wasn't coming through too much in the video. And then hopefully it won't be too long before the next one. But yeah, let's just do one more turn though, because I feel like we didn't make enough progress. Better shell quality. Okay, well, let's sneak one more in. One of our agents seems to have been caught in Russia. Uh-oh. Poor guy. I don't think he's coming back. We'll make him a national hero. I wouldn't mind. I mean, if I could guide my war towards that. Okay, triple torpedo tube mounts. That's a good thing. Airship bomb armament. I don't really care about that. Land-based naval aircraft. That's going to enable naval... Oh, God. Now we do have something to do. Okay, so we're going to have to start building naval air bases everywhere, which is... You know, the micromanage of this makes sense, but I don't know. I'll have to work through it. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh wow. We're here. Oh, we can design aircraft. Oh ho ho. Okay, cool. So here we go. They definitely updated this. I think it's a little bit better. They went from drop-down menu to, you know, radio menus. It's probably better. So let's get a fighter with speed as first priority and firepower as its second. Well, I'm honestly, reliability might be better so early on. Toughness? Firepower. Maneuverability? I don't know, let's go with firepower. You know what, firepower's not even going to matter this early on. They're all going to have just 2 guns. Yeah, we'll do speed and maneuverability. And can we design more? Yeah, cannot. Okay, cool. Well, we got our first aircraft request in. Right? I mean, like a month after we discover what an aircraft is, we're asking for something for the Navy. So hopefully we get those back quickly and then we can start iterating. Until the next one, thanks for watching and take care.